Yes, for that we do have SABC News senior reporter Canny Maphanga, who's been following these proceedings from Justice Mabandla College in Pretoria. A very good afternoon to you, Canny. So as today's proceedings conclude, talk to us about some of the key outcomes from the witnesses. Most interestingly was, of course, some clarity pertaining to the fitment of those blue lights on the fleet of cars of Cat Matlala.
Good afternoon to you, Alicia, and to the viewers at home. We're getting a sense of the kind of position the Ekurhuleni Metro Police Department is in, one that it is in need of dire intervention, just based on the evidence that we've heard so far about alleged lawlessness within the Ekurhuleni Metro Police Department, and the alleged beneficiaries of that lawlessness being that of the private security company of Vusimuzi Cat Matlala, who we've heard through the central figure who is embroiled in these allegations, that is Brigadier Julius Mkhwanazi, allegedly enjoyed undue influence over the EMPD, but particularly over Brigadier Julius Mkhwanazi, who allegedly dished out those blue lights. Remember, blue lights is something that is afforded to only law enforcement agencies, that is the South African Police Services. A private security company cannot be fitted with blue lights because of the dangers that can be associated with that, and also because the law simply does not permit such an accessory to the private vehicles of the private security companies. They may have some intermittent lighting or strobe lighting or white lighting, as we've seen in our streets and our roads, but ordinary persons like you and I, or private security companies, cannot utilize those blue lights that are often used to combat crime and to flag down particular suspects, and of course are understood by you and I as something that represents law enforcement whenever you are approached by it. However, because there's been this alleged abuse of blue lights, we are seeing that the levels of crime have risen in cases of kidnapping, such as hijackings as well. Incidents emanating from the OR Tambo International Airport as well are some of those incidents that have been flagged by the EMPD officials that have taken the stand when people are able to quote-unquote abuse those resources. Now, we are hearing from Mapiyeye how this particular company that enjoyed that undue influence over the Brigadier Julius Mkhwanazi allegedly was fitted with those blue lights, and the extent to which they, supported this particular company is that they tried to formalize it through a memorandum, which was also flagged as unlawful, as the company would be participating or collaborating with EMPD to combat crime operations in the Ekurhuleni region, which you also understand to be illegal because EMPD is limited in their duties and tasks as Metro Police. They don't have investigating powers. That is only afforded to the South African Police Services, and as municipal officers they only act as support. But this all boils down to allegations surrounding these alleged cartel members, particularly in this instance it would be Vusimuzi Cat Matlala and the kind of benefits he enjoyed in various institutions in the criminal justice system, with a specific focus on the Ekurhuleni Metro Police Department. We've seen two officials come and show us the extent to which they enjoyed this benefit. Alicia, you did refer to those social media videos that were projected on the screen about a few minutes ago, where we saw that the wife of Vusimuzi Cat Matlala, who identifies herself as Mama Cat, on those particular social media videos shows that they're traveling in those private security vehicles, clearly fitted with those blue lights and the sirens that accompany it, and it's taking them to various different venues, including private airports, etc. We're not clear where they were at the time, but it is clear that this private security was fitted with blue lights and that it had to have taken place at the Ekurhuleni Metro Police Department. Whether or not that was due to the undue influence that they allegedly enjoyed with Brigadier Julius Mkhwanazi remains to be solved before the Madlanga Commission, but those are some of the concerns that are being flagged through this commission as it continues with its probe into allegations of criminality in the criminal justice system, but particularly in the Ekurhuleni Metro Police Department. We did hear from the Chief of Police, that is Mapiyeye, earlier, that several attempts were made to address this conduct or this unlawful conduct by, or alleged unlawful conduct, let's put it that way, by Brigadier Mkhwanazi, and we are hearing that he enjoyed support by several other HODs within the Ekurhuleni city that empowered empowered him to behave in this particular manner and, of course, to extend those benefits allegedly to Vusimuzi Matala and those particular private security vehicles that belonged to his company. We're also hearing that it got to an extent where Spies, who is the last witness, and Mapieye, who appeared earlier, were allegedly threatened by the then city manager, who allegedly told Mapieye that she would refer their names to a person by the name of Mswazi. We've heard the evidence before that was a late taxi boss and alleged hitman. And of course, we're hearing testimony that she alleged that she would hand over their names if they did not desist from this IPID external prosecution of Julius Mkhwanazi, because remember, they were able to kill that internal investigation against him because of the level of intimidation that was waged against him. But an IPID probe was continuing, which they were trying to persist towards. However, when the then city manager allegedly heard about that particular probe, there was that evidence that there was a threat to their lives, because they were stated that she would hand over allegedly their names to Mswazi, who we know has come up as an alleged member of that Big Five cartel. So it gives you an idea of the kind of environment that had been allegedly created at the Ekurhuleni Metro Police Department to, I guess, cushion these alleged criminal cartels and the kind of risks that can flow from the benefits that they enjoyed, specifically with the risks that can flow by giving these private security companies and their vehicles blue lights when they're not intended to have that, and that is only afforded to law enforcement officials. Of course, Spies has just gotten on the stand. I'm sure there's plenty more that he's going to, I guess, delve into when we get into the commission on Monday at 9:30 a.m. this morning. However, prior to that, we will be wrapping up or connecting the dots on the testimony of this week, which was quite interesting, from the intelligence head leading into the Ekurhuleni Metro Police Department, which is another portion of the criminal justice system, which is alleged to have the tentacles of the alleged criminal cartels that enjoy an incredible benefit from these institutions. But before we get to that, on Monday, of course, there will be that wrap on Sunday at 5 p.m., which will elaborate on that particular testimony. Over to you in studio.
Thank you so much to SABC News senior reporter there, Canny Maphanga, with a wrap of the outcomes at the Madlanga Commission today.